walking into a new day. It can be exciting, nerve-wracking, and sometimes downright dreadful. What if we approached every day confidently, with a trusting heart? Days will be different for everyone, and my actions may not relate to you, but my heart can. We only let the world see what we want it to see. The people we look up to may not have it as great as we think. Instead of wishing for other people's lives, let's start living for our own. I'm sure that we might have similar thoughts upon waking up. The classic, I definitely did not get enough sleep last night. Or, what do I have to do today? I really don't want to go to that. It's pretty common, right? We all have things that we don't really want to do, but we know we should do them anyway. We all have flaws, myself included. Sometimes I look in the mirror and I think, ugh, do I really look that bad today? So let's spend a day in my shoes, and starting off with the first thing I usually think about, coffee. I head straight for the coffee maker. While some may call it an addiction, I call it my comfort. It is something that I have to have in order to feel satisfied in the morning, and to be quite honest, I would say I'm addicted to it. It's all a part of my miracle morning routine, which is something that I started implementing to help me deal with my anxiety. Yes, I have anxiety. I am not afraid to be vulnerable with you guys, and I want to be honest. So the next thing that I do is spend time with the Lord. I always start off my day with my devotional. Before any anxious thoughts can creep into my mind, I make sure that I am feeding myself with something positive, and my devotional is key. I love this Joyce Meyer's devotional. It has helped me through so much this year, as well as my daily journal. I spend at least 10 minutes every single morning writing down what happened the day before. You can implement your own morning routine by starting with something positive in the morning and spending a little time writing. Once I'm done my miracle morning routine, it's easy for me to feel sidetracked again. Maybe those anxious thoughts come back in of what I need to do and doing things quickly, but it's important to take time for your body as well. So daily exercise is always a must for me. As I head to the gym, usually my thoughts are, okay, what do I need to do after the gym? Where do I need to go? Who do I need to see? Everything is always a million miles a second in my head. But this isn't the time for that. This is the time to move your body. This is when I get into my zone. I shut everything off. It's like I turn a switch. I'm focused on one thing and one thing only. I move my body as best as I can. I'm always there to better myself, to challenge myself, push myself beyond the limits that I didn't think I could do yesterday. If you're not trying to grow, then what are you trying to do? Being comfortable is not an option. I use fitness to strengthen me not only physically, but mentally. Whatever you run from will always be waiting for you somewhere else. Our strength to conquer is found in pressing forward. God wants us to stretch our faith muscles and stand against fear. Fear is self-doubt. You're afraid of being wrong. Doubt is a fear of negative things happening, but faith expects good things to take place. It takes less emotional energy to walk in faith than it does in doubt and fear. I promise we can be happier and healthier if we choose to be filled with positive thoughts, especially when it comes to our self-image and our self-worth, body positivity, and loving yourself. I've come to realize that I will always be criticized in life, and that's okay. And if you learn how to cope with it and you don't let it bother you, it can actually be a positive thing. It can actually strengthen us. If we know our own hearts and we don't allow others to judge, we can cope with the criticism. After all, there's only one person who I care, whose opinion I receive. But how do we respond? How do you react when others try to steal your joy and peace? Remember, we can't possibly fulfill everyone else's expectations and demands. Don't let the people around you determine your values or behavior or your self-worth. Be kind and cordial anyway, and don't allow your mood to be determined by others. Since self-love truly does start on the inside, it's important to feed yourself a good nutritious meal, and I believe full-heartedly that food releases those happy hormones, so I always have a healthy breakfast after my workout. And recently I have been loving these veggie bowls. They are clean, lean, and green, but don't worry, I still make time for those fun foods like Oreos. Knowing how to get started in eating healthy or cooking for yourself can be difficult, so I have a brand new recipe guide linked down below that you guys can download. Now, some of you are wondering, Haley, when do you work? What do you do? What is May Movement? Well, I started May Movement when I was in high school, and I've been pursuing my passion ever since. I started college and I left college. I overcame a chronic illness and have hit every roadblock I could think of. I've traveled across the country multiple times, being turned down by big brands, being boosted by big brands, and every single situation I've learned something about me, myself, and what God has called for me to do. He has blessed me with gifts just as He has blessed you. We can turn those gifts into our passions, and our passions into a career. Now, it's not always going to be easy, and you may stray from His path a little bit. I know I have. I've thought that I was doing what He wanted me to do. I thought I was doing what I wanted to do. And then things didn't work out, and that's okay. We only let the world see what we want it to see. We are afraid to be vulnerable. We want to be accepted. But I want to be real. I want you to know that I struggle. I have flaws, and my so-called routine is far from perfect. Because we should always be striving for growth, making ourselves better every single day, but sometimes it can be really hard. God tells us to develop our potential. He is able to do exceedingly abundantly above and beyond all that we can hope for. We need to think big thoughts. Ask for big things. Courage is available the same way that fear is available. Be courageous today and always. Your daily routine might not be what you want right now, but choose to live passionately. God does miracles through people of uncommon courage. I challenge you to make today, tomorrow, the next day, and the next day after that as best as you can. Be all in. Handle your tasks with grace. Be open to change and being uncomfortable. So no matter what side of the bed you wake up on, or which shoe you put on first, or even how you take your coffee, try to make your morning the best it can be in your heart. It'll reflect on the outside. I promise.